Annelise Nielsen is in the United States. For us, of course, in the countdown to the election, 2 and a bit weeks away. She is in Miami, Florida right now, which is one of the swing states. Now, remember, without boring everyone of the ups and downs, the margins of errors and all the rest of it, it comes down to 5 states. This is one of those 5 states. There's a case for Biden's going to win it, Trump's going to win it. She'll find out in the next little while. But I'm a great believer in politics, Annelise, that the person who ends up winning is the one who wants it most. Donald Trump was in how many different states today trying to get to as many people as possible? Joe Biden, nowhere.
Well, normally that would pay, but this is a pandemic election, Paul, and so the real question is that actually going to influence voters, or is Donald Trump going to alienate more voters by going out and having these mass gatherings? Going to Wisconsin in particular seems to have really riled up quite a few people because they're in the midst of a pretty significant second wave there. In fact, they're really kind of the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic in the US at the moment. So having a gathering there, having people standing behind Donald Trump, not wearing their masks properly, is all really firing up a lot of Biden supporters who've all been sitting at home seething about this response for months. And so they're the ones that are going to get their ballot in. Right now, 22 million people have cast their ballot already. That represents 16% of the total ballots that were submitted last time. So we're looking at unprecedented level of early voting, and it's going to be hotly contested.
So when we talk about enthusiasm, we can count that in lots of different ways. How many lawn signs are there? How many people are signing up to this petition or that petition, or what's popular on YouTube, all the rest of it here. As somebody who's been there for a little while now, how are you judging enthusiasm?
I would say the Trump supporters completely outnumber Biden supporters on enthusiasm. But the Biden supporters, it seems to be more of that resigned idea. When you talk to them, they say like, oh, he's fine. Oh, yeah, look, he's better than nothing. But compared to Hilary Clinton, who people actively disliked, that is going to be an advantage for them, especially when Joe Biden's base is much smaller than Donald Trump's. He could be getting more of those swing voters that are just a bit fed up and just want to cast their ballots, so something changes.
So, OK, to Democrats, that you want to, pretty obvious, Team Red, Team Blue, they've got their talking points, they watch their cable news shows, they know what to say, right? But if you happen upon somebody who's, you know, I was this way, I was that way, I voted for Trump, but I voted for Obama, I think the intervention of the tech companies was really big last week. Really, really big. But the problem is only one half of the ecosystem is talking about it, and the other half seems to be completely cool with the suppression of it. That seems to be very weird, a very weird dynamic in all of this, that things that you would think are universal to at least note, agree or disagree with them, you at least note that big tech companies turned around and said, hey, you know that front page of a paper in every single newsstand in New York, you're not allowed to talk about it on the internet.
Yeah, huge. And I think you can't underestimate how much that's impacting Trump voters in particular. One thing that really surprised me getting here was I assumed, look, they're not going to be the quiet conservatives anymore. Their guy's been in the White House for 4 years, so how sensitive could you really feel? And every Trump supporter I've talked to has said in one way or another that they feel like they can't talk about it at work, they can't talk about it with families, and so they are still keeping their cards close to their chest. And often they're happier to talk to me than other media because they think, oh, it's only going to be broadcast in Australia. Although we do have quite a few fans in the US through our YouTube and Facebook. So I would say that's absolutely true. A lot of the Biden supporters have been the loudest because they're angry, and so they feel like they get to own the platforms. I think you're absolutely right to single out the social media call has been just extraordinary level of censorship, and people won't stand for it here.
Yeah, it's that thing. I mean, but this is the thing, again, difficult to explain to a lot of Australians. People watching us will get it, right? Freedom of speech. The same way people love their gun, they love freedom of speech. The concept that a story about... So I'm saying, you know, from the left, right or centre, right? But a story about the guy who you might be about to elect president had a son who was selling access to him, and the claims of some of the text messages is that maybe the guy you're about to elect was getting a cut of that. That's a big deal.
It's a big deal, but then you talk to the Biden supporters and they say, well, Donald Trump's got half his family in the White House and he's not exactly perfect either. So
sure, but they're working for the government.
Swings a lot of voters. I know, but I think it doesn't swing a lot of voters is what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is I think that it just fires up Donald Trump supporters, and his base is already coming out. They're going strong. They were 2 months ago when I got here, they couldn't wait to get their ballot in for Donald Trump. It's all those ummers and ahhas that probably now looking more likely they're going to cast that Biden ballot.
Now, a super producer voice is in my ear, counting me down by the second here, so as fast as we can here, Annelise. Do you think there will be a third debate which is due Thursday there, Friday here?
It's looking more and more likely. I wasn't betting on it. I thought all bets are off. But now they've both been out on the campaign trail so much. I think there is that desire to have that real actual debate because the town halls fell completely flat. Even though Joe Biden had more ratings by a couple of million over Donald Trump, he didn't own the news cycle. That was really down to Savannah Guthrie kind of really going Donald Trump. So I'd say both parties will be keen to make something work.
I will not lie. I noted it, and it made me cry a little tear on the inside, those TV ratings. But there we go. Thank you so much, Annelise. We'll talk again as the week rolls on. She's kicking ass as always, and she'll tell you the real deal, okay?